Hi everyone. Ireland is not a country for young people. A survey was just published from the National Youth Council of Ireland, and it said that 3 out of 5 young people who took part in the survey of over 1,000 people said they were thinking about leaving Ireland, and 81% said they were fearful of their future. This is outrageous now, but this is a country that has been destroyed by deliberate government policies in terms of creating a massive wealth divide in our society where 10%, the richest 10% in our society, have 50% of the wealth. And when you consider 2 billionaires in Ireland have the same wealth as the bottom 50% of the population, there's major issues around inequality in Ireland. And of course, young people don't see a future here because of extortionate housing costs created, manufactured by the political establishment. We see more and more people paying extortionate rents, house prices are out of control, and young people don't see a future in Ireland. In the last couple of years, we've seen record amounts of net inward migration, with the immigration chaos as well, adding massive pressure to under-resourced public services, and also putting pressure in terms of pushing up accommodation costs with housing and rents going up. Now, 1 in 3 of those people who were surveyed have strongly considered leaving Ireland. This is remarkable in a country that they claim is exceptionally wealthy. And at the same time, 82% of people polled said they were negatively impacted by the rising costs. And of course, housing is the main reason. And when you consider what's happening in the housing disaster in Ireland, and if you consider just one house behind me here, an Edwardian house here in Terranure, there's a lovely warren of a number of roads around here. They went to the market nearly €700,000, and probably sold well in excess of that. You can just see sale agreed on it. And of course, property prices, according to the Economic Social Research Institute, are about 10% overvalued. And of course, we have massive issues with immigration chaos. As I said, records amount of people who are coming into the country on top of this as well. So it's Ireland Incorporated, Ireland PLC. That's what it's become. You're not valued by being a person who wants a dignified existence, a young man or woman, in terms of having a future, in terms of having a secure home and an affordable home to live in, having access to a decent health service, education as well, and not to mention the cost of food disaster with grocery prices and bills going up every single day. And of course, the government have just recently announced that they will not be giving any more support to people who are struggling with the extortionate energy costs. And please remember, back before privatisation and before the European Union neoliberal agenda, Ireland had the lowest energy costs in Europe, and now we have amongst the highest in the world and highest across Europe. We see that even with the food prices across Ireland also as well, at extortionate levels. But again, this is impacting so many people, our elderly in society, in terms of so many people who are struggling, ordinary people that are struggling with the cost of living disaster. And then on top of that, we have young people suffering and being left behind by deliberate policies. And when you can see the housing disaster being a big part of this as well. Not to mention the societal disasters in terms of the immigration chaos which is taking place in Irish society, with the sheer volume of people that are coming in. And then we have record amounts of young people that are being forced to leave Ireland because of these policies. But wait for it, the National Youth Council of Ireland said they will put this forward as a pre-budget submission, hoping that the government will change tack. Well, good luck with that one, because they won't be changing tack, because as I said, there is a big percentage of people in Ireland who are doing quite well from what's taking place in Irish society. They're profiting from the housing crisis, they're profiting from the misery of the homeless disaster, they're profiting from the immigration chaos as well, and also they're part of the very wealthy in Irish society that are very much part of the I'm OK Jack Brigade in Ireland, rather than looking to what's happening around them. And when you consider young people, many of our nurses and qualified doctors, many have been forced to emigrate, and at the same time we see this disaster coming from a poll that was led by young 18 to 25-year-olds in Ireland. It's just outrageous. And this is a country, as I said, is doing very well on their so-called GDP figures, and it's an economy that's booming. We're told it's booming, and we're awash with money, and there's a sovereign wealth fund. And again, the Irish Fiscal Advisory Council said they should start reining in public spending. And at the same time, they're transferring more and more public money through all these manufactured industries, all by design. It's not by government incompetence. This is by the complete and utter design. This is who they represent: the very wealthy, the billionaires, the corporations, those elites, at the expense of ordinary people. And our young people can see it, and they're leaving in their droves. So people must continue to stand up in Ireland and fight for a country that puts the needs of our citizens first. That's our elderly people who are struggling to keep their heating on. That's our young people, which are a future to build our country on. But of course, they've been ignored because of the housing disaster, because of so many disasters in Irish society. They need to rise up against what's taking place in society, all manufactured, all at the behest of their masters in Brussels and the political establishment. As long as a certain percentage of the population are doing okay, they don't care. And there's very much of those who are very much in the I'm okay brigade and not really looking at the bigger picture. But when it impacts their children in terms of access to accommodation, then perhaps more people will wake up to what's taking place. And it's a complete and utter attack on ordinary people, working class people specifically, in terms of what's happening and all the policies. But of course, it's up to time for people to keep speaking out about this and share my videos, and please subscribe to my channel and keep speaking out as well, and use whatever voices you have to speak out, because you need to put a dignified society at the heart, and that starts locally, it starts in our communities, and it's a big move towards what's happening in Irish society as well, in terms of standing up for our basic citizens' needs to be met, not a flood of another generation that are lost to leave the shores of our country, rather than representing and serving the needs of the people who are the future of our country. This is what the political establishment just don't care, couldn't give a damn. So slán go fóill, take care, bye bye.